The main challenges in terms of whistleblower protection, they are quite similar pretty much wherever you go. You need to have proper acts which are protecting the whistleblowers against any acts of retaliation, both inside their workplace and also outside. This includes also strategic lawsuits that are used to silence the whistleblowers. And then they also need proper supporting mechanisms, which varies from anything ranging from financial support to make sure that they are not kicked out of their living for the time of being, to also concrete legal support. So actually the complaints that the whistleblowers are raising, they can be brought to the proper hearing, and the possible wrongdoings are properly processed as well. In addition, I would also like to highlight that the whistleblowers, they are not a homogeneous bunch. You have a couple of different kinds of people from very different and varying fields. So there can be any sort of actions which are normally considered from grievances to wider threats towards the social justice and social integrity. This includes anything from sexual harassment to widespread financial illicit crimes, environmental crimes, or also regular issues which relate to workplace safety and occupational health. Maybe just to highlight the European directive, it's a directive meaning a minimum standard for the European member states. This basically means that the minimum standard is setting, that is what all the EU member states are following, but nonetheless there is some best practices that can be used to actually highlight what are the best possible mechanisms on protecting whistleblowers. There is some particular legislations in the member states, especially in France, which have been more progressive than the others. This includes having a very clear support for the judicial proceedings of whistleblowers, which is offered for them, also including the financial support they might need, and even funding for potential vocational training that they might have on these occasions. I must say that, if it sometimes feels that the European Union was moving slow, I know that when it comes to international institutions, they move also at their own speed. On this sense, we are hoping out of this meeting, the technical meeting, that there will be a clear idea that we need to move forward to establish global standards that are protecting whistleblowers all around the globe. In that sense, there's already quite a wide variety of any sort of research, backing data on what is needed, what are the principles that whistleblowers have. So now it's time to also gather that political will, that we can actually materialize that into potentially an ILO standard. And I must say that is sort of a natural response on what has been happening on plenty of regional levels, not only in the EU, but what should be also taken to the global context.